So how do we go about building a brand with a huge aura via just content? Let me show an entire blueprint in this video. So let's take a look at this, circles, graphs, whatever you call it. And in the middle, obviously it's aura, and the stuff around it is what essentially creates the aura. So let's talk about taste first. It's pretty much what you personally like. What do you think is good and bad, not like what random motherfucker on the internet says, right? What do you know that is currently getting attention? Are you giving it the attention too, right? What does the bubble, the culture that you're in, what do they like? What do you like? Because you're in the culture, you're in the bubble, right? Everyone, we are in some sort of bubbles, right? Society, everything, it's cultures. You understand this. Do you like the stuff in the culture as well, right? And if not, then you're probably not in the right culture, right? So basically you need to have perspective, like bigger perspective on things like this. The second thing that kind of goes hands in hand with the taste and aura is experience, because everyone has a story to tell, and creative people are, for me personally, are the best storytellers. I'm like via words, writing, or visual storytelling, whatever, right? Just storytelling as in general term. Whatever you experience, like huge, small, if you can bring that energy to your craft, you'll become unstoppable, right? Try to remember, right, something in the past huge, right, and still remember those emotions from it, right? That emotion, you can use it as a source for inspiration when you're creating, right? The more you have actual like experience in the world, the more you kind of can take different cultures, right, when cooking up. So it pretty much adds onto your aura. Third thing is like positivity. You will rarely see people with a high aura that also have a low magnetic energy, right? Most people with high aura won't really be negative, although they have this ability to be critical, give you like constructive criticism, know what is whack. Sometimes they might know too much what is whack or not, and maybe they might be too direct with it. They always end up looking at what is the best result, what is the best outcome. They never like look at the negative stuff that much, or they never take them as the outcome. Ask yourself this: do I excite the people around me? How do I excite the people around me, right? Ask yourself, do people look forward to seeing you? Do people enjoy working, collabing, or being around you? The best combination is to have one, people like working with you, like as a human being, to a human being, they just like you. And two, they also like your way of solving problems, or giving ideas and stuff like that. You will rarely see people working with someone just because they are solving a problem and don't like them on top of it, right? You will rarely see this type of stuff, and it is there, but long term wise it won't work. Like imagine working with someone that you don't like, and you're just solely purposely working with them just because they are solving a problem for you. It might not work, like, as again, long term. The fourth thing is giving. There's like a general kind of concept to aura, but do you give to people? Do people like your value? Do people like what do people like what you're giving them? Are you a person that's giving? This all adds onto your aura, and if people and things and animals and stuff are highly attracted to you, it just, all of this stuff is just adds to your entire energy and aura. Alright, let's take a look at a few examples of how brand owners increase their brand's aura, here by Lowheads. Be in the cool shit, Thug Club and their love for motorcycles. You probably know Thug Club. If not, search them up. Be anonymous and let your art speak for itself. Cheeto. Exclusivity. Cortez password protecting their jobs every time. Cortez been doing this shit. Sell a lifestyle, Quan taking fit pics with his whips. This is a fine kind of way to increase your brand's aura if you want to be, selling this type of lifestyle via brand. That's up to you. Collaborate with lit people, stolen arts. Show people that you are a real person, 74 and their other accounts. Tap into niche interests, Anthony Riddle and UFC. Be consistent with dropping new shit all the time, Drolan Miller. And basically, Lowhead said, have a dope Instagram, which makes sense. A lot of brands, they don't treat their Instagram as a portfolio. So that's about aura, but how do you design this aura? How do you even attract this huge magnetic energy? Let's talk about designing your life, right? The way you're gonna design your art, you should take that concept and design your life as well. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of all a reflection, right? How you're gonna design your life, your day-to-day life, your dream life, is gonna reflect on your art. And trust me, don't skip this part. The nicks and tricks I'll show you after this topic will be pretty much like useless. You can throw them in the trash if you don't follow through.
Designing a life you're obsessed with starts with knowing what is important to you. Start with defining your life categories: health, business, family, relationships, personal life, finances, spirituality. For each category, create an identity to embody and an image that matches. For me, health is a calisthenics athlete. My business, I'm a brand owner. For my family and relationships, I'm a leader. Finances, I'm a Bitcoiner. Looking at these categories, know that everything does not matter equally. Which of these needs most of your attention right now? If each category was a glass or rubber ball, and you were to juggle these, pick which one is made of glass and which is made of rubber. My relationship is made of glass. My health is made of glass. My business is made of rubber. Success isn't determined day to day. It's determined by averages. Look at your week as a whole. Life will happen, and it's okay if you didn't have the most productive day, but did you have a productive week?
So just to wrap up this kind of first reel from Zach, shout out to Zach by the way, it's just that you need to have a vision board. I know it sounds cliche, but putting your car, your bed, whatever car, whatever dream car, whatever dream house you want to have, whatever dream girl you want to have, then all of this stuff, are you actually looking forward to them? Do you actually want a huge ass house, or do you just want to have a chilling apartment house that is big but not too crazy? So you need to be true to yourself when designing your stuff. Because for me, for example, I thought that I want to have a 12-car garage, right, and these huge villa and stuff like that. But then I realized that at the moment, do I feel actually excited even about that idea? And then I reflected, and I was like some guru just planted this kind of lifestyle shit to my head. I don't actually really want that type of stuff, right? So for everyone, it's gonna be different, right? Those gurus that tell you have a vision board, write down your biggest house, the car that you want to have, do that, right? But stay true to yourself while kind of designing that. I would recommend you just writing it down with your hands, because it's kind of a way of creating as well. You're creating a vision board, so it's a form of art. All right, let's switch. Let's talk about content. Nowadays, being dope, right, content wise, is the norm, kinda, right? It's the standard. So what does it take to be even greater than just dope, right? The norm is that everyone nowadays have great quality content. If you're on a good feed, if you're in a good algorithm and culture, of course, every video you scroll looks artistically nice. The quality is just there, at least for me, right? I have a good feed. I don't have a brain rot algorithm, and it's a totally different game with nowadays fast-pacing access to the information. Back then it was hard to know how to edit a video in a software, how to edit a picture, right? Sketch, design. But now you can find it in a matter of seconds, and most people just don't do, because they're fucking lazy. Let's talk about some basic content stuff. So community personal branding versus just personal branding, right? What's the difference? I'll show you some examples. as well. Community branding is just like thinking about some events, pop-ups, stuff like that. I'll show again examples from some dope brands as well to really show you how you can kind of create your personal brand via your community. But there's one thing, all right? Don't run ads when you're just starting out, right? Focus on, you know, just building the brand organically first. When we work with brands, we suggest them to pour that capital instead of, you know, ads and just wanting to sell. I would just recommend, you know, putting that capital into the quality, into the product, into the visuals, into the experience, you know, because all of those stuff is the asset, is the stuff that's gonna make you money later. So if you're going into this like creative game with just like focus on money, you can be that type of entrepreneur, but again, it's just knowing which kind of entrepreneur or creative person you are. So how do you become like a cool as fuck brand, you know, in the marketplace? The first concept is stop thinking about the audience and start thinking about yourself first in art. Let me pull up what Rick Rubin said, right? Basically, he said that it's an in-service to the audience if you care what they like.
Something I say in the book is that the audience comes last. And I believe that. I'm not making it for them. I'm making it for me. And it turns out that when you make something truly for yourself, you're doing the best thing you possibly can for the audience. So much of why, if you go to the movies, so many big movies just not good. It's because they're not being made by a person who cares about it. They're being made by people who are trying to make something that they think someone else is gonna like. And that's not how art works. That's something else. It's not art. That's commerce. So if we're making art, we're making, it's almost like a diary entry. So could I be concerned that someone else might not like my diary entry? It doesn't make sense. You know, it has nothing to do with them. My diary entry has nothing to do with anyone else. So everything we make as artists are essentially diary entries.
Let's talk about that, right? When it comes to like new art, new artists, you're just finding like yourself throughout the journey, right? There will be new people from scratch who kind of resonates with that identity and journey of yours. So you're not creating it for them. You created it for yourself and found your people on the way, right? Again, there will be like an audience, people that, you know, who's gonna resonate with your identity of yours. But initially you didn't create it for them, right? You created it for yourself, and those people just found it on the way. Most, you know, commercial markets, that's why, you know, it's commercial, are designed to be marketed to you, right? Whereas again, in commercial thinking, your people are already there and you just gotta create a product that fits their needs specifically. And commercial business, from my perspective, is like very logical. It has sense and it has structure. And for me, it's dangerous to go down that thinking when you're in an artist creative flow, right? Again, it can be a combination of like both, right? You don't have to be just solely heavily art directed or just solely heavily commercial directed. It's both. It's just which way you want to go more, right? Stay true to yourself, especially if you're watching this as a real artist. If you really deeply know it, then think about it. So stop chasing trends, right? Stop second guessing yourself or the audience. Put yourself first. The audience is actually gonna like the fact that you stay true to yourself, and it actually is gonna show in the art. It's gonna show in the way you talk about the art, the way you showcase your art. They're gonna take that as an inspiration and motivation, and it adds new energy to their lives, because they're gonna go like, this guy, he cooked. I want that stuff and I want to be cooking too. For me, trend is just a question of what is currently in. So for you to create like your own trend, ask yourself this: what is currently in that I myself like as well, and how can I add some of my own taste sauce into it? it's not that hard. Goes well with their brand identity. It gives you like this what the fuck, kind of effect. Undiscovered.ig, why the customer isn't always right. You may have heard the saying, the customer is always right. And while it definitely has truth to it, I think in today's age, it's not as simple as that. Here's why. Attention spans and speed of the internet nowadays, people's taste and wants change at a pace brands can find difficult to keep up with. A trend can rise and die within a week, right? And people's attention spans are demanded on every corner of the internet. When things can change so quick, it's hard to make judgment of valuable info that can help with either brand or product development, keeping you stuck. They don't always know what they want, right? This links to the attention span point, where in a huge consumption age that we are right now, there is an abundance of content and new things to buy. We're spoiled for choice, making it hard to make a decision on what you want, because within comparison, options has own pros and cons over the other. So who do we even listen to? The internet and social media is available to everyone, meaning it's a free space for users to engage with what they like. The problem arises when we listen to the wrong voices who we think we should be listening to, because the truth is, not everybody on the internet, is your audience. You may see someone give their opinion on something and think it may apply to you, when that's not always the case. How real is their opinion then? Unfortunately, this is where we're at with modern internet. Fashion, TikTok, and IG comments are the hallmark for this. A lot of users are more so saying things for controversy, attention, or to feel different from the rest. It takes nuance to distinguish what's a real opinion and what is an inflated one. They don't get the full picture. Consumers don't always understand the producers. Consumers only see the end result of everything and not the work, effort, and process put into something. This makes it difficult for consumers to understand certain factors, leading to assumptions and unrealistic expectations. One of our clients, -2, is doing this, having dope Instagram thing perfectly, right? They have this, main Instagram called -2 Global. But let's say, if you tap into their bio, they have -2 Jeans, -2 Gang, and -2 Sports. So basically, they're going through this multiverse of having different accounts, managing different accounts, and showing different kind of personalities behind one, main image. So to wrap this part, work on your craft and collab with great creative people. Me after bro starts a clothing brand called Motion Hustle Trap Clothing and says he's making out of the hood. Bro, I don't have to comment this. Just digest the meme. And if this meme is you, please click off this video. No, I'm joking. Like, maybe you can learn something new out of this. But you're a walking meme if you're this, by the way. So more about like the community branding type of thing from undiscovered.ig. If you don't know this page, highly recommended. If you're really in the deep fashion culture, let's pull out this screenshot. Okay, let's pull out this screenshot from undiscovered.ig. I screenshotted this, and basically he asked, with Supreme being sold recently, this is the first question that came to my head, like what is gonna be going on, and like what's the kind of fashion, kind of branding trend right now, in a sense. And Ezra said, brands are dead as being the faces. It's people who are the faces of streetwear now. Right? Something about the community thing. People started to stop looking towards a specific brand as the face of streetwear. Right? Right around the mid 2010s, when Ye style was literally becoming everyone's inspiration. In a sense, most brands start to follow the trends set by the leaders in streetwear, opposed to their like previously established kind of model of big brand. Let's say Supreme pushes a kind of a new item or aesthetic, right? High profile fashion, for people kind of start rocking that, then it becomes like this niche adoption, and then it becomes like a mass adoption. But now it's more of an like interesting model where high profile streetwear leaders create a look for themselves. So, and then it becomes the niche adoption. I'll explain this. Undiscovered explained it very well here. And it becomes a niche adoption. Most big brands create items that fit in, that kind of look aesthetic, and then it becomes, mass adoption. Obviously there's still, innovators and leaders in streetwear, but I personally think that certain individuals are the faces of streetwear of both brands at this point. Rocky, A$AP Rocky, Ye, Cardi, Tyler. Like, people want to relate to something, and it's a lot of kind of easier nowadays to relate to an individual opposed to like a corporation. Some of the brands who've seen the most growth have owners who are very public about the brand, their lives, and the process, right? So basically it's like a lot of brands kind of started taking this kind of very basically the owners started showing like themselves way more along the brand, right? So it creates a kind of different personalities for your community, for your audience to kind of look at this brand and be like, oh shit, so the brand is not just trying to sell me stuff, they have they have vibe, they have aura as well. Like, they actually have aura, and they see like more sides to the brand, right? Maybe if you have to have a team, right, and they're working with you like content wise, they might be like the faces as well. They might be posting shit on their own content. So all this stuff compounds to your aura via content. So I feel like we're entering like a stage of kind of era where everything is kind of being treated as an art. It doesn't necessarily mean that the art itself is gonna be like hugely artistic, but everyone are trying to put like creativity as like the first thing now. Even in like heavily commercial directed businesses, like there's some sort of like creativity going on there. Even in food niches, I feel like random local restaurants, a food niche is being treated heavily as in a fashion way as well. A lot of brands like you nowadays don't treat content as a TV show. Well, nowadays every piece of content is kind of a TV show, especially short form content, Reels, TikTok. It feels like a series of smaller shows. Let's talk about Broken Planet. All right, Broken Planet, they are, as you can see, they are not that ultra heavily art directed, right? You can see like they have this kind of more lifestyle stuff, but then they have art directed stuff. But the main thing is the consistency of the faces and the aura of the faces of the brand. So the owners are Indre and Lucas, and these are their friends most likely, and they travel the world and stuff. These are the owners, and they travel the world pretty much, and they shoot their friends. These are, I would say, these two plus him are like these combos they are very consistent in every kind of picture, in every kind of video, right? And if you go and find their Instagram, they have their own audience as well, right? So it's the aura that kind of these people are giving out, and as well as Indra and Lucas being like great creative directors and merging that kind of two auras, two cultures into one. I would say that's why they are being able to pump up great reels, simple reels, no crazy reels, right? And still get that kind of attention. And they have faces. I see a lot of brand owners just doing solely 4 pics, 4 videos. Like, man, you're in fashion. Like, we have to wear that shit. We gotta see how it looks. Let's take a look at Trendy Vision. Like, if you take a look at their pieces, it's not too crazy unique. It's not something that the vibe of it is not that something you haven't seen, right? It's not like the jeans, they are not that crazy, right? But their brand's identity is heavily art directed. Like if you take a look at this post, this custom set, the vibe of it, the models, their aura, everything. If you take a look at their reels, every single of their reels is heavily art directed, right? Just search them up, take a look. You know, you see the views, right? Like all of this stuff, crazy. And then if you take a look at their YouTube, like it's just like a BTS, right? And it also also shows like behind the trendy vision, like the personality. And I think they also have something like behind trendy vision to show like personality as well. But even the video itself, as you can see, it's just vibes. It's just like, it's just a BTS, but it's also, you know, the sound design. It's just a BTS, but this video itself, if you take some, you know, dope parts from it, like it could do well on reels, right? So it's just, for your brand, it's just like kind of adopting this kind of mindset of how to give a dope as fuck aura, bro. Like, let me not be another POV, the best sweatpants, you know, that you ever gonna get, that you ever saw this winter. That type of brand, right? Don't be that motion hustle trap coaching type of brand. If you really want to succeed as a creative person, you gotta be creative. Racer Worldwide, same thing, bro. They're just crazy. They're doing their own fashion runway, so their image is heavily directed to there. Yeah, it's just, their shit is just heavily controversial and heavily crazy. And nowadays, I would say that if you make everything like extreme, people are just gonna fuck with it, right? Racer Worldwide, if you're in the culture, you should know them as well. Take a look at them. Gentle Monster. First thing you go to their website, you see is art, characters, identity, right? Adopting this character. I'm not sure if this model actually, you know, walks around, you know, every day and looks like this. I don't know. I don't want to judge, but a lot of times, you know, being in this modeling space, most of the time you're acting, right? You're creating identities that, you know, kind of don't exist, for example, right? So, for example, right? So you take a look at their website. Jennie, you know, from whatever the group is called, K-pop, whatever. Gentle Monster, heavily directed. Even if those stuff are just like sunglasses, heavily crazy, you know, it's just the glasses themselves might not be crazily, you know, crazy, but the vibe, the aura that, you know, the person behind is wearing it, that's what creates like that whole kind of brand vibe, brand identity. If you take a look at their Instagram, same thing. And obviously, you know, they are a brand that has a huge large team. They've been here for a while, right? But like stuff heavily art directed. Okay, dope as fuck. The movements, the vibe, the aura, again, all of this stuff, the colors, like take everything into the account. Like really become like an all-out creative. Like start really treating everything as aesthetics, vibes, and I would say that you can create anything once you kind of adopt this type of mindset. I would even say that everyone in this world are creative. It's just how creative can you be? Noix Dope, I don't know. I hope I'm pronouncing. Again, just download the reel. But look, heavy, crazy movement, storytelling, jump cuts, colors. You know, just crazy, heavy, like dope as fuck. And it's the real god, I don't know, quite a lot. But then their other reels are not that heavily, you know, they're not that crazy heavily, you know, art directed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I mean, the way they place, you know, stuff around and they play with the audio, cuts and stuff. Yes, that's like kind of art, but it's not like heavily art directed. So as you can see, the concept of this art thing, you don't need to be heavily like art directed. Like it's always both. Another video from Doubt. Again, not heavily, art directed at all. Vibes. Again, casual. Not heavily art directed, right? Great contrast with the background. The George. Great contrast. Like nothing heavily way too heavy. Maybe this thumbnail is like, look. Pharrell Williams says he wants sculpture, architecture, music, and the arts to be added to the next Olympic Games. Olympics, like just sport, right? But it's like, again, if you adopt this mindset of seeing art and kind of adopting art in everything you do, you start to kind of realize that everything actually is art. Like the device you're watching this video from, it's a form of art itself. It was created. Obviously, like the components in it, I'm not saying the logical, the data, the zeros and ones, and I'm not talking about that, but the overall function, the overall kind of the way the device looks, it's an art itself. Saint Alexandro, cozy stuff. I would say this is like mid art directed. The colors are very nice, very cozy. It talks about their kind of brand's identity and their products quite a lot. The music adds on top of it, right? Nothing crazy. It's just the fucking quality of the content, bro. Baggy, again, heavily art directed. Crazy controversial. Like what is going on? Why there's a goat? Why is it even a goat? Why people looking at me? I'm just standing, I'm just posted up, bro. Let's take a look at A$AP Rocky's, like, just walk through the video and see how, like, bro, like, just what is going on? Look at this. I don't even have to talk. I know, again, we're in like a kind of different niche, but again, anything that you make extreme, anything that gives like a specific huge aura, like this clip itself, like what is going on, right? It just adds onto the brand identity so much. I know I've been like repeating this stuff, but I'm trying to get this kind of concept into your head so you really start, applying it. Even though when you're not creating, just seeing it, just feeling the aura in the presence, like just seeing it, just seeing where things came from, and maybe start overthinking about how can you add your own sauce and make it better, right? We're humans. Tell us a brand that does campaigns like this, right? Fucking crazy. Fashion brand and ballerina, huh? Their Schutze, not heavily art directed in a sense, but I would say, look,
Just taking a look at the absurd length of the jorts during this conference meeting. Exhibit A, crop jeans / pantaloons. Jorts are becoming too damn long, which leads to Exhibit B, tiny ones.
not like,
Exhibit C, the perfect jort.
it's not like heavily art like vibes, like heavily like, it's very fun. It's a very fun a way of doing art. I'll show you some more of their reels. Their stuff is very kind of, it is artistic. It needed some kind of direction, some kind of scripting, obviously, but it's just a fun way of doing art.
Damn, he's famous over here. He's signing.
Damn, she's treating me to dinner.
Oh, this is super nice. I'll get one of everything, please.
Wow, okay, she's rich. I'll do the same.
Oh, I'm finally getting princess treatment. How have I done this? Should we get the bill? wearing your jersey right now and you can't pay.
Bro, athlete, this jersey is their shoes. I should have never trusted a fashion girl.
Ooh, didn't realize.
That they have a lot of kind of these kind of episodes, you know, and they made a kind of brand identity out of it. And again, there are some main people still in every single of their content. This girl is like I would say the main face, because she's been kind of popping in almost every content, right? And see the switch here. They have heavily directed like videos here, right? Heavily directed videos, and then they started testing this kind of fun way of doing art. I don't know if they're gonna be releasing some, maybe this art, I don't know if they're gonna be doing some kind of like heavily art directed for maybe their next stuff, but they're combining it, right? You don't have to be just one kind of identity, one kind of aura. You can mix different culture, different vibes in, and pushing that kind of personalities out there. Like this quote from Sound and Creativity: create from the heart and edit with your head, right? Creativity is about balancing these two opposing forces within you, right? So creation is becoming whole. Alright, let's talk about this community personal branding by this Project Comte guy. Dope as fuck. So I screenshotted this story and he said, "Alright bro, I'm gonna pull up to one of y'all city and make that shit pop. And what city should I pull up to? Very close to the community. First 100 people to stick 10 of our posters get any ring from the drop for free." Right? Great way to getting his community engaged in this stuff. He's done this for a few times. He bought this truck, you know, even his own identity there, an ice cream truck. He gave his own ice cream, like that goes with the brand identity, you know. And he you know, got onto the top of the truck and just gave free stuff. Like he just threw free stuff. You don't have to be doing this type of stuff, but again, thinking of like an engaging way to get your community engaged, you know, have fun and really doing this, even I will say offline, is the best thing that you can do, right? And that's when you're big, of course. But if you're big locally, if you want to get big locally, like getting the people around you, you know, engaged in your content, I would say great kind of way to start the brand up, especially if you're just starting out. This designer, the Italian designer, building an alien world. He also made his own short film, right, by himself. So he's designing his own stuff, and he also, you know, directed his own video, right? He even starred in one of the short films, right? Heavily creatively directed person. I don't use mood boards or inspirational pictures. I get an idea and go straight to my sewing machine. Again, not every person can be like this, right? If you are good as fuck, you can, right? But you don't have to. There's no rules in terms of how.
Bizarre robberies at luxury stores are becoming more frequent, leaving authorities and the public confused. Last Wednesday morning in Spain, a group of masked individuals broke into a high-end fashion store. Within seconds, they swapped out the entire collection, but didn't take anything. The only thing left was a note that read, "It's a rare humans thing."
A quick wise words from, you know, Mike Amiri. The kids that are screen printing tees in a garage, distressing jeans, upcycling vintage and hand painting shirts are the ones that will take over the luxury retail streets in the next 5 years. It's not too difficult, you just don't want it bad enough. A lot of people just start a brand just because, you know, they're trying to be cool, or they're a rapper, SoundCloud underground rapper that just wants to have their fashion brand, just to add onto the image that you have a brand. And even though you don't really care and give a fuck about the brand enough, you just want it for your own kind of image. I'd say it's a wrong way to go about starting a brand, aka most trap clothing brands.
You know what, when you work on something for so long and you see it for so long, and like just down to every little stitching and little detail. Like, you've seen this thing for such a long time. And I'm the biggest fan of it before it comes out.
Same.
But once it comes out and then everyone got it, I'm over it. I'm all for it. I'm like, okay, what's the next thing? And then if you notice, a lot of the time when I'm doing collabs, I'm wearing it. I was rocking my cons every day before they came out. People are like, yo, what's those? I'm like, yo, they coming out. Blah, blah, blah. And then when they come out and everyone gets them, I'm off them. Because I'm already thinking about the next one. I'm like, yo, all right, what's the next deal? Like, what we doing next?
It's like, I don't know if George Lucas plays with Star Wars toys. He invented the characters, wrote the story, created the world, makes it. So for me, Denim Tears is a film. For me, it's a story. And I'm telling it, and then I think I'm on to the next film. Like, you know, so then I feel like if I'm wearing it, I'm like almost not doing cosplay, but like I'm in the film. I'm the director of the film.
I mean, you do wear it, but not as much as people would expect. It's not like you get over them like you hate them, but it's just more so like, okay, like, this was this, what is the next thing, you know?
And I get my greatest joy from seeing people wear it.
My biggest joy with like seeing people wear my shit is like people that be wearing it, see me and don't know who I am.
A dope ass Rare Humans video. Crazy, art directed, heavily art focused. My last word to all of this is that you can't focus on, you know, even creating content if you don't kind of have products, right? That's like don't like overthink the next step of thing, the art directed. But if you don't even have, if you haven't felt your own samples, if you haven't even validated designs, and you just go straight into like, okay, this is the drop date, I want to be releasing this, and you haven't even validated your own art and you want to just sell and go to the next thing, trust me, that kind of structure, the way you're gonna treat that creative entrepreneurship, is not gonna last long. A video that we did, this was when we were in France, Marseille, and for one of our clients, we did everything our own beats, colors. Not much to say about it, just vibes. Here was the mood board that we kind of took, that we did. Some samples from one of our clients, dope samples, good details, extremely good details. And it went from this mock-up to this, you know, dope ass sample. And this was like a first sample, and it already looks like this. Last thing, some of our own stuff. I don't want to show too much, not sure, probably gonna go with the beige one first, because the other ones are a bit complicated, and since it's kind of my first kind of design, or not design, but like first thing that I want to actually get made, right, from all of the 100 stuff involved, first thing I want to actually get made, probably the beige one. Don't want to show too much, but yeah, if you like this video, like it. If you didn't, no worries. Bye.